Hey, what's up, everyone? Getting on here to do my part two of why I started Campionato TV, and it's just more of a fallout of some stuff I talked about in part one. And first, I'd like to say that somebody that's not Italian or somebody that's not Italian, maybe they don't understand Italian. They probably don't even know what campionato means. And basically, if you follow Serie A on Italian programming, a lot of times you know the people talking about the sports or the announcers, they call it the Italian Championship campionato. It's the Italian Championship. So campionato means Italian Championship. Um, So that's why I got Campionato TV, because it's the Italian Championship TV. Um, I realized that it may not be clear to somebody, and it may not be the best, thing for trying to share this community, but we'll see how it goes. So having said that, um, like I said, this is just going to be a kind of like a fallout from part one. I'm doing this because one, I love to talk about football, and usually people don't want to talk to me about it. They don't want to hear it because they're not that into football. But you know, um, I like to talk about football. I want to help spread Italian football. And I don't think there's enough content out there for Italian football, and I think that people that don't know about football, they need to know. They need to know. I mean, for example, ESPN. I'll use ESPN for an example. They have their show, their ESPN FC. They never talk about Italian football ever, ever. Um, and they're very, in my opinion, how they talk of it, it's very disrespectful. And when the Italian team does something good, whether it's a national team or a club team, they find some way to talk about the team that lost, and so there's just not a lot of content out there from outside of Italy, and so I want to help provide that for people that enjoy Italian football, and I want to provide that for people that are learning to become Italian fans, because I know that there's a lot of people out there that are, especially because living in North America, there's North American players in the Serie A like Wea, Musa, Pulisic, Buzio, um, McKenny. I know they got the Canadian guy in Inter Buchanan. So, hey, we'll take all the fans we could get. Um, it's really not hard to sell the league because it's one of the best, if not the best in the world, and people just need to be educated about that. Um, um, and I realize the content, you know, um, there's people out there that do content on this topic, but and that's great. I'm another source, and I'm not saying that we are like some of the creators in Italy, to that level. I mean, the level in Italy. I mean, if you watch just Sky Sports Italia during Champions League, or they have Fabio Capello over there. They have um, Costa Curta. They have Cambiaso used to play for Inter. So they have world class soccer players, talking and breaking down games, which is great. But I want to provide um, more content outside of Italy to reach people that may not be aware of Italian football, or their opinion of it may be swayed because of this these creators in outside of United States. I mean, another one is you know And everybody's entitled to their opinion. You have the Lexi Lawless there, and sometimes I watch his podcast, and whenever he's talking about like top teams or top countries, he never mentions Italy, never. I mean, it's just baffling to me that they're not in the conversation. I don't care if they didn't make the last two World Cups. It's not acceptable. It's not acceptable they didn't make it, but whatever. They didn't make it. That they are always in the conversation. I mean, we're talking about a team that won a European championship a couple of years ago. It's not easy. European championships you know, um, is probably tougher than the FIFA World Cup. No disrespect to non-European countries. Um, the Serie A has been, one of the top leagues in European action in the past, 3, 4, 5 years. Well, I can only imagine if like these content creators that support, American soccer, if like an American team, like made it to like a quarterfinal of a World Cup or, like the Club World Cup, which I don't even know if I consider a Club World Cup, anything serious because from what I heard, the top teams are going to use it more as a preseason, but whatever. It'll make money for FIFA, and that, but I don't think you're going to get the top teams playing, hard like they do in the Champions League. Um, so yeah, it's just I want to provide this content. I don't think there's enough of it, and I'm tired of hearing about these other American podcasts that they don't cover Italian football or they are negative about it or whatever. And typically these people that are on these shows, come from backgrounds of they come from backgrounds of they have not won anything major in soccer. So I don't know why they are so disrespectful to Italian football, and maybe they don't think they're being disrespectful. I'm not sure, but it seems like to me they are. Um, so I'm looking at the ESPN's website, and it's all English Premier League teams. You look on the soccer, and a link there, and there's a one team Juventus that on the link, but there's all these Premier teams: Arsenal, Liverpool, yada yada yada. It's like the Premier League over here is the end all be all, and it really is far from that. It may be better glitz and glamour, like like many sports in America try to they're the presentation that's what's most important. So but you go to these websites and they're talking there's not anything related to Italian football on there, and besides Juventus, and Juventus is not even doing good this year. They're not. I mean, they tie every game, and pretty much. And what about Inter? What about Atalanta? What about these teams? Where are they? No, nobody ever talks about them. Um, Same thing with soccer websites and stores around this where I am in the world. It's rarely ever any good Italian content or clothing. It's all Premier League or MLS, and there's no good content or jerseys or anything Italian wise. Anything. For anybody that knows anything about football, the Italian football has had some of the best jerseys ever in the history of football. I mean, if you go back to the 90s, I mean, you have iconic, Juventus jerseys, the one with the stars on the shoulder. You've had great Kappa jerseys. You can't even get that stuff. Instead, you got stuff like Inter Miami, their pink jersey, and I see people all around, wearing, youth kids wearing this stuff because that's what they're sold over here. That's what they're sold. I want to educate them. I want to see Juventus jerseys. I want to see AC Milan, Inter, Atalanta, Roma, Fiorentina, Lazio. I want to see these kids around here wearing that stuff. I even see kids around where I live. They're wearing Al Nasser, jerseys. No disrespect to MLS or Saudi Arabia, but I want to see Italian stuff being worn and it deserves to be respected for all that Italian football has given the world and the coaches and I don't feel that the respect is there, at least in my part of the world. I don't know what you guys think. Um, you know, I'm involved with youth soccer, and all you hear is about every team but Italian teams. All the Premier League teams. Some kids they're talking about Barcelona, Real Madrid, and that's it. So if there's anybody out there that sees this that's a content creator for Italian football, I'm glad to, have conversations with you. And if you want to come on my podcast, you're more than welcome. Um, if you want me to come on your podcast, I have no problem with that. Um, and I wish you guys the best, and I hope you guys, have a lot of success, and help the cause. So that was pretty much some other items I wanted to talk about related to why I started Campionato. And Campionato, for those, like I said, not Italian, it means championship football, Italian championship. Some other topics that, I was made aware of today. I saw that the Italian national team is going to be playing Germany in the San Siro, which is just mind-boggling to me. I don't understand why the Italian Federation is doing this. We just got through playing France in the San Siro, and I know they said Donnarumma was sick, that's why I didn't play. But what do you think is going to happen if he goes and plays against Germany? I mean, he's going to be uncomfortable because the Milan fans are going to whistle and boo him. It's just, I don't get it. I don't get it. There's so many other stadiums they could play in, but we'll see what happens. And then also with this Bove, incident with Fiorentina, I got to tell you, man, I was so sick to my stomach. It's like one of my biggest fears in football related to players falling, or something happened. I thought the guy was gonna die or something like that. I know we had the other incident Euro 2000 with the Danish player there, but I literally had to was gonna vomit. It's like my worst fear with football. It's such a high cardiovascular sport, and I'm thankful that the guy, Bove is okay and he's recovering. I saw reports today that he may not be able to play anymore. He may need to have a defibrillator in his heart, but he's alive, and if he can't play anymore, all's not lost. He can still be involved in football. Maybe he becomes a content creator, or is an analyst, or a coach or something like that. But I'm sorry that happened to the guy. I really am just so happy he survived. So, anyways, that's all I got for today. And make sure you guys subscribe to my channel on YouTube. We're also on Spotify. If you want to listen to me on Spotify, we're on Twitter. Follow us on Twitter. We're on Instagram. Follow us on Instagram. Help grow our community. And that's it. Forza Italia. We'll see you guys.